Hello there everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joesephyr and welcome to a video for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia that is going to talk about divine summons and exactly what comes along with that, as I've had loads of messages and tweets and all sorts of things asking me exactly what we can come to expect when Divine Diabolos comes along, presumably in the next week or so, along with the anniversary, which we're all very excited for, depending on what's going to happen with that. Obviously we've got loads to look forward to, so keep obviously in tune for all sorts of stuff related to that as well. But today we're going to discuss divine summons exactly, so that I can help you guys to navigate exactly what you're going to see and what Diabolos is going to be getting out of it as well, because it's actually a pretty big deal. So if that's all stuff that you're interested in, then of course, as always, stay tuned and keep on watching. As always guys, don't forget to check all the links in the description box below for all my social media. On Twitch this week, I'll be doing my normal stuff on FF14, and we've just finished Final Fantasy 2, so next Friday you can expect Final Fantasy 3, which is going to be the DS/Steam remake, so that's going to be pretty exciting, because it's something that I've not experienced in a very long time. And obviously on Monday, we have the community stream coming up for the anniversary for Dissidia, so that's all going to be very exciting. So do come and join me as that goes live, as we'll have a little viewing party all together and we can react and respond to whatever's going on, and it will all be great stuff to watch. When it comes to Patreon, obviously I give a shout out to one of my patrons every time I release a new video or series of videos, and today that person is going to be Cowboy, who is recently joined my Patreon, so thank you very, very much indeed for your support. And if you would like a title card, just like Cowboy has here, who has one of my favourite characters in the entire franchise in it, then of course consider becoming a patron yourself if you would like something like that. Don't forget to check out all the other links in the description box below for anything related to Dissidia Opera Omnia, and of course don't forget to check out all the other content creators out there besides myself. Now, before we get started talking about summon boards, etc., there are obviously a lot of people who have asked me personally whether I could make a video like this, but I do want to quickly point out that there are quite a lot of other content creators that have released videos very similar to this, so I do encourage you to go and check those out for yourself as well. A particular one I'd like to mention, Simply Lost's video as well, because it was very, very concise, very to the point, and I really liked that one. So if you want to watch that one after you've seen this one, I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. I also want to give a quick shout out to Larissa in my Discord for giving me some screenshots from the JP sides of things so that I can use those as a visual aid to help me explain all of the stuff that's going to be going on. Now, coming very, very soon, presumably the next banner, if it's not the global first banner for LDs, etc., things like that, along with Ramza and his LD burst, etc., we're going to be getting the first Divine Summon board. Now, that name could change. Obviously, I'm going off of what the JP side of things has, so these names could change up as and when. And it's still going to be a farming fest for a lot of reasons, but it's slightly different to the summon boards that we've seen before. And it still has an absolute buttload of resources in it, just like we've had before. But there's differences. So instead of increasing the parameters of your characters individually, like you have done with summons prior, all of this, like the farming that you'll be doing with divine summons, is in the interest of leveling the summon itself to level 40, as all of the materials needed to do so, or at least the high-end materials that need to do so, are within the boards themselves, as opposed to just farming them from the fight itself. And it also, those come along with the large number of resources that we have become accustomed to when it comes to summon boards. Now, this is actually a pretty big deal because it makes the summon quite dramatically different in terms of its impact on a fight within any particular given time. So in Diabolos's case, and I shall pull up a screenshot from DissidiaDB.com as I always do, and with Diabolos's sort of transformation to level 40, you'll see that not only is his passive increase, so his Diabolos's blessing makes it so your initial bravery is raised by a flat 50%, and then you get a stronger elemental weakness damage buff once your HP falls under 80% of your max HP. So Dark Knight Cecil, Vivi, characters like that are still going to absolutely love Diabolos for it. But if you look slightly further down, you'll see that Dark Messenger, the attack that you perform when you're doing the summon, has actually changed itself. It's now a 6-hit Brave HP attack with dark abilities on it that dispels all targets. So honestly, that's something to keep in mind as to the reason why we're kind of leveling this up and doing it a bit differently, so that you've got a summon that actually impacts the fight when you cast it, not just the fact that you're getting 6 free turns on top of everything else. So as you can see on my right here, this is the sort of screen that you'll see when you're looking for like divine summons and what you're going to get out of it. As you can see in JP so far, they've had Diabolos, Brothers, Alexander and Ramuh. But also you'll see that each kind of board, as it were, is described as a floor because there are 50 of them. So basically what you need to do is you need to farm Diabolos over and over and over again, as you have done with the other fights, and you'll gain points, which I'll get to the multipliers and stuff like that in a moment. And basically, you have to clear through all of the floors in order to get to all of the materials that you need in order to increase Diabolos to level 40. Now, you're also going to get loads and loads of tickets, loads and loads of gems, loads and loads of other bits and pieces. So you can see, like, at the end of it all, you end up with the 600 material pieces, I don't know what the name of the piece is, that you'll need to level Diabolos. You'll get 40,000 gems, 400 tickets, and also 100 nuggets and for armor and weapons, which is a nice little addition. But I just want to clear up a little confusion that has been about for a little while, because I think people have misunderstood something about what I've said when it came to collecting tickets. Now, there was confusion saying that if you were capped out on tickets, you couldn't collect like what was in the boards, and that's not true at all. I've never said that, just to clarify. However, in order to progress to the next board, you have to pick up everything that is on the current one, and that includes obviously any tickets that you see. Which means that if you are capped out on tickets, instead of going to your ticket stash, they'll go to your mail inbox instead, with 90 days left to use them, as you would do with any other ticket acquisition that comes from, you know, being over 999 tickets. Now, honestly, this sounds like it's scary, but quite honestly, if you're running out of time on tickets 90 days after you've capped out and you've picked up more tickets, you're doing well enough that you probably don't need them. But another thing that I did want to point out actually with regards to this is that armor tokens are not a part of the rewards as they had been previously with other summon boards. So those of you that may have heard that armor tokens go through a bit of a drought on the JP side of things, this is the reason for it. But don't panic too much, because in honesty, like, I've looked through loads of people and I've spoken to loads of JP players and stuff like that, you should still easily be able to keep up as long as you haven't gone crazy spending them on characters that you use once, and you'll still be able to get them with event tokens and things like that. But, and if you're newer to the game, then you've still got the other summon boards that you can get loads of them from. So I wouldn't panic about the token or the armor token thing too much. So when it comes to actually farming Diabolos, it's a little bit different to how it was when we farmed summon boards up until this point, because the variables in obtaining the points are a little bit different. Like I said earlier, you don't actually earn points for a particular character, so you don't have to take like every single character in your entire roster through the Divine Diabolos fight. Instead, you are earning points just to clear the summon board itself. This means that there are synergy characters, as there always is with a lot of these fights, but super synergy is slightly different. Like, you've seen it within boss rush and stuff like that, it's treated a little differently. Whereas with these fights, it depends on how many synergy characters you actually take within your party to fight Diabolos. That denotes how many points you're actually going to get. So the more that you take, the more you'll earn. If you're not taking any, you'll take 250. You'll get 250 points per fight. If you take a full party of 3, you'll get 1,000 points. So it does make a massive difference if you're taking a full party of synergy characters. So pay attention to obviously who is synergy for any particular given like Divine Summon board fight. Now, Mog Pass does also factor into this as well, because it gives you an additional 150% of the points you've earned on top of that after the character synergy multiplier is applied. And you can see on the table that I've displayed here as well that, for example, if you aren't taking any synergy characters, instead of 250 points, you'll get 625. If you're taking 1,000, if you're taking a full party 3, instead of getting 1,000 points, you're getting 2,500. So Mog Pass, while obviously it is a paid thing, it does make a dramatic difference on how much you'll need to farm Diabolos in order to earn everything that you've got. This is also further affected by your current rank, just like it was with other summon boards as well. But instead of going into like the full mathematics of it all, you can expect with a full synergy team and Mog Pass to fight Diabolos between 70 and 80 times for everything, for all of the rewards. Obviously, this depends entirely on your current rank, and if you don't have Mog Pass, then you can expect to double this particular number. As for the fights themselves, they're ever slightly harder than we've previously had because they're Cosmos difficulty this time around as opposed to the much easier fights we've had before. But if you're taking a full synergy team, given the amount of power creep that we've had, honestly, you still shouldn't find this to be too much of a problem. In Diabolos' case, you can expect the synergy characters to be Maria, Freya, Pain, Ida, Ramza, and Machina. But obviously this is subject to change when it comes to anything like global related as in relation to the JP side of things. But if you're pulling for Ramza, which a lot of people are, you can expect that you're going to obtain some stuff for some of these other characters as well. You can also make it a little easier for yourself by only taking 2 synergy characters, but obviously the less synergy characters you're running for this particular farm, the less points you're going to get, and therefore the more times you'll need to fight Diablos in order to obtain all those lovely rewards. And then the last couple of pointers before we end the video: books, etc. do not affect the points that you get from a Divine Summon board, so don't worry about wasting books or anything like that trying to get all the points from it, because it won't make any difference. And the last thing I want to point out is that synergy for these events are time limited, so while you can farm for more points after the synergy has ended, obviously the expectation is there for you to farm Diablos maybe like in a few times per day during the for each day of the duration of the event. And therefore, I mean, there are going to be people who are going to blitz it out in the first couple of days. I'm probably one of those people, but like I said, even with Mog Pass and everything, you are going to be farming this quite a lot. I mean, it actually adds up to being less than it would have been for a different summon board, because you don't have to take every character through it, but it still adds up to a large grind. But the results and the payoff are worth it, in my opinion. 40,000 gems and 400 tickets is nothing to sniff at. So while its synergy does end, as soon as you get those characters from the banner, like if you've got a setup of like Machina, Ramza and Maria, you're good to go when it comes to Diablos, and obviously this is going to be true of other summon boards as well. So that's going to be all on my little primer for Divine Summon boards. I hope that this has helped clear some things up, particularly with notes on how like acquiring tickets and armor tokens and things like that are going to go when it comes to these particular events. If you have any questions, or you want to put any additional notes of your own on top of anything that I've said here, then of course leave a comment below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell for notifications of any future videos I might be making. And then that's going to be it from me. So you will see me probably for community stream on Monday. Hopefully we'll have some very exciting news to share between us after that's happened. And happy anniversary to Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia in advance. So thank you all very much, and I will see you guys then. Take care. Bye bye.